Today on the Get Connected podcast with your host, me, Mike Agerbo, we're learning more about the world of sports streaming. It's so fragmented out there, so many different channels. There's one sports streaming app that's trying to consolidate it a bit more, make it easier and give you more choice, called Fubo. Stay tuned. Let's get started. The world of streaming has definitely fragmented the television and show landscape, even more so for sports. I'm an older guy. I remember the days of television. I remember over-the-air television before you even put a box up to it to get additional channels. And it was kind of easier back in the day. You basically had your cable company. They were typically the only cable company in town. It's kind of opened up, as far as competition over the years. But one monthly fee and you had all your channels. You could buy additional packages, but that's the thing. They kind of packaged it all together. Streaming came along and just blew that wide open and made it even more confusing. And that's something that we want to talk today about when it comes to sports. There's so many different sports streaming channels out there. There's one that's trying to kind of bring it all together. They're called Fubo, and we have a great guest today. We've actually got the Canada lead for Fubo TV. Her name is Vanessa Morbi. She's also the VP of Marketing over there. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Vanessa, to start things off before I get into some of the other questions about your sports lineup and your DAZN partnership, explain to our listeners and our viewers what Fubo is.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a sports-first streaming product in the Canadian market. We have Premier League, Serie A. We have partnerships with beIN Sports, One Soccer, as well as a new partnership with DAZN. The content set is focused around both our soccer, which is our core offering, and then also additional content like MLB Network, MLB.TV, NBA Network, and then also a whole host of other content through our partnership with DAZN, which includes Champions League, as well as NFL Game Pass. So really a very sports-centric destination for Canadians looking for live streaming of sports.
So let's just get right into it. There's so many choices out there. How are you dealing with things like subscription fatigue? There's so many different channels, and people are getting a little tired of that and sometimes confused.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like we hear about that all the time from consumers and viewers. People are having to juggle multiple apps, logins, subscriptions, not to mention the cost associated with doing all of that. That's certainly commentary that we hear all the time. But really what we're in the midst of is a movement past the one-size-fits-all cable model and really transitioning to a new model of content consumption that's really fan first. And I think one thing that's worth remembering, and in particular because we are the home for Premier League in Canada, but before 2019, which was really not that long ago, there was no way for Canadians to watch every single Premier League match in Canada. So it's significant that, the streamers that have come to the market are able to unlock this content for Canadians where they previously couldn't access it. So I would say, while there are some, challenges as we transition to this new model of content consumption, there's also benefits. There's a big benefit to bringing all of this content to the Canadian market, which previously wasn't available.
So one of the things I hear as well, because there's so many choices, people are saying like, where do I find things? How are you making it simpler for people to find the content that they want?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's absolutely huge. And one thing I actually want to kind of double down on, because I think you're actually hitting on a really interesting point here, is sports fans don't have something like decision fatigue, where you find more of that in the entertainment space. Like the issue there is more discovery friction. And I think that's what you're hitting on here is the discovery friction around fans trying to find the content that they want to watch. They know they want to tune in to the 3 p.m. kickoff. They've already made that decision and they want to get there quickly. So Fubo, we have really designed our platform around that and to be the antidote to discovery friction. Our personalization tools aren't just about suggesting content, it's about eliminating the logistics of being that fan. And so the interface is really all about stripping away the layers of navigation so that the viewer can move from searching to streaming the moment they hit the screen. And so we want to get them there immediately. And to be honest, we want to get out of the way as much as possible.
So I'm coming from Canada here, and so are you. So how for Canadian sports fans, how is the streaming experience different than the US market, do you find?
Yeah, so I would say that when I look at the Canadian ecosystem, really we're in what I would call a high velocity catch-up phase. So I think that that's actually pretty significant because for me, I see this as a huge second mover advantage. So while the US really sort of pioneered the streaming space, it was also the first to suffer from extreme fragmentation fatigue. So when I look at this and assess it, I see that Canada has this opportunity to leapfrog some of that chaos that we've seen. And so while Canadians are still adopting the live TV model, we're actually able to bring all of those hard-earned learnings from the US and apply those to the Canadian space. So we're able to create this aggregated platform, whether you're looking for soccer or the high growth area that is cricket. We're moving directly into a more unified environment. And so really that's what Fubo is bringing to the space. And I do see that the US was more in sort of I would like to call it the beta tester in this area. And Canada is able to really, apply those learnings as we launch the content in Canada.
If you could give fans a tip to make their sports streaming setup a little less complicated, what would it be?
Yeah, I really think that, I mean, first and foremost, fans have to prioritize the platforms that aggregate the teams and leagues that they care about. I mean, I'm sure that goes without saying, but that is really what fans need to be looking for. But I'd say a quick second to that is really looking at platforms like Fubo that offer some real and true flexibility. So we're able to provide our users add-ons like MLB.TV at the start of baseball season. We can give them bundles like our partnership with DAZN. We offer them varying subscription lengths like monthly, quarterly, annual. So really for us, like we want to make sure that the fan has the power to scale up for NFL season, for Premier League season, and then lean down off season. So we want to give fans that flexibility. And I think that is a huge win for fans in the Canadian market, as again, we move away from that one size fits all Canada model.
I want to talk now about DAZN. You guys have a partnership with them. They're another streaming sports service. How is that all working?
Yeah, so look, we get asked about this all the time. And really the partnership with DAZN, it launched at the beginning of this Premier League season in August. And the goal here was to offer fans a really robust sports offering. And I would say just sort of like diving in, because there's a real strategy here. And really it is about completing the fan ecosystem without us diluting each of our platforms' unique DNA. So here's how I would break it down. On one side, you have the Fubo soccer purists. We have fans that are there for Premier League. They want their games in 4K, which is exclusive to Fubo. They want their Serie A. They want their dedicated coverage of one soccer and beIN Sports. And so for those fans, adding DAZN, it's not about switching homes. It's about giving them a complete set. It's adding Champions League and other European soccer and Game Pass. And I would say if you look at the flip side of the coin there, we have DAZN. Those fans are there for massive fight nights. They're there for NFL, but they also want to include in their weekends and to complement their European soccer. They want Premier League and other Fubo offerings. So this is about offering our fans an option to access content that's not necessarily on their main feed, but we can give them one home base for it. So while each of our platforms have different anchors, we're able to add complementary content that's really, suits the fans and where they want to watch their content specifically.
And just for the listeners and viewers out there, with this partnership and the DAZN content, do they access that through the Fubo app, or do they
Yes,
go
it's
out to the
completely
DAZN app?
integrated. It's completely integrated. So we've done a lot of work behind the scenes, ensuring that all of that content is available on the Fubo interface. It's completely seamless to the end users. So once they select that bundle, it is all integrated into the Fubo experience, and there's no navigating multiple apps. It is all in one place for the fan.
So, what are we looking at as far as pricing tiers with your offering in Canada?
Yeah, so we offer different price tiers. So whether you're looking for cricket, that can start anywhere at $7.99 a month. Or if you're looking at for the full Fubo DAZN bundle, that can go upwards of $54.99 a month. And that would include all of your soccer content, Premier League, Serie A, Champions League, Bundesliga. I could go on. And then also NFL Game Pass. So that's a really complete and thorough package at the $54.99 price point. And then we have price points in between, depending on, again, the content they want, the add-ons, but we're offering users a lot of flexibility to really curate their own package and their own bundle.
Is it a fairly competitive space? With entertainment, with movies and TV shows, obviously there's a whole bunch of players out there, Prime, Netflix, Apple TV. I find with sports, it's kind of all or nothing. Either you have the NFL or you don't. Like, how does that affect you folks?
So look, for fans looking for the content we have, we're we're the primary destination. Like this is exactly where you go when you're looking for the top soccer content in Canada. We have all the Canadian leagues, like our coverage is second to none. So from a competitive standpoint, we have a huge value proposition for those fans, and we are truly the home for that content.
I'm going to get you to bring out your crystal ball. What do you think this looks like in 5 years' time when it comes to sports streaming
Oh my gosh.
compared to
Well,
today?
in 5 years' time, I would love to look back at this answer and see exactly how this netted out. But, I think we touched on this a couple of times already, which is that there's a lot of digital hunt, right? That discovery friction. And so when I look 5 years into the future, I see that as a thing in the past, and that we're really moving into an era of predictive fandom. So instead of searching for the game, the platform will have already curated your morning kickoff. It will know based on your history, your fantasy team, your social interactions, and it will serve you the content that you're looking for in that moment. So I would say that we're moving from a platform that is curated to one that is anticipating. And I see that Fubo is going to lead the way there, and we're going to be able to deliver those features and those innovative experiences to the Canadian market. We'll
We've been
see. I
talking
don't
with
know.
Vanessa Morbi. She's the head of Canada over at Fubo. She's VP of Marketing as well there. I really want to thank you for joining us on the program today and educating us on what Fubo has.
Okay.